The massive ships appeared in Earth's orbit without warning. They were huge, each one the size of a small city. There were 50 of them arranged in a perfect circle around the planet. Their dark metal hulls gleamed in the sunlight, and strange symbols glowed along their sides. People on Earth looked up at the sky and saw them. Some screamed. Some prayed. Some just stood and stared. Within minutes, every news channel showed the same thing: alien ships surrounding their world. Inside the largest ship, Admiral Crescital sat on his command throne. He was tall, with blue-gray skin and 4 arms. His species, the Valorians, had done this 300 times before. They knew exactly how it would go. "Open a channel to their leaders," Crescital said to his communications officer. The officer worked at his console. "Channel open, Admiral." "Their United Nations is receiving." Crescital smiled. It was not a kind smile. He had perfected this speech over many years. Every word was designed to create fear and helplessness. His hologram appeared in the United Nations Assembly Hall in New York. Hundreds of human diplomats and leaders gasped. Some jumped from their seats. Security guards reached for weapons they knew would be useless. "Greetings, humans of Earth," Crescital began. His voice was deep and carried the weight of authority. "I am Admiral Crescital of the Valorian hierarchy. We rule 3,000 star systems across this galaxy. We have conquered 473 worlds." He paused, letting the numbers sink in. The humans looked terrified. "Good. Your planet is now within our territory," he continued. "You have 2 choices. First, you can surrender peacefully. Join our empire. Pay tribute, serve us. You will be allowed to live, and your world will be spared." Another pause. Some humans were crying now. Others looked angry, but that anger was mixed with fear. Crescital had seen it all before. "The second choice is resistance. If you choose to fight, we will destroy your cities one by one. We will burn your fields. We will turn your oceans to steam. Nothing will remain of your civilization. Your species will end." The UN Secretary General, an older woman named Dr. Sarah Chen, stood up. Her hand shook, but her voice was steady. "How long do we have to decide?" "You have 48 hours, Crescital said. "After that, we will assume your answer is war." His hologram vanished. The UN assembly erupted into chaos. People shouted in dozens of languages. Some wanted to surrender immediately. Others called for resistance. Security had to restore order. Dr. Chen called an emergency meeting with world leaders. Presidents, prime ministers, and kings appeared on screens from around the globe. The debate was fierce. "We cannot win," the president of France said. "They have technology beyond our understanding." "We cannot surrender our freedom," the prime minister of India argued. "Humanity has fought for liberty throughout history." "Fighting means extinction," someone else said. "Surrender means survival." The argument went on for hours. Meanwhile, something strange was happening around the world. Military bases activated their best personnel. Not the soldiers with the biggest guns, but different people. Programmers, hackers, computer scientists, intelligence analysts. They received urgent orders to report immediately. At DARPA headquarters in Virginia, the basement levels that officially did not exist suddenly filled with people. At the NSA, entire divisions stopped their regular work. In China, Russia, Israel, and a dozen other countries, cyber warfare units went into overdrive. But it was not just governments. Universities called in their best computer science professors. Tech companies sent their top programmers to help. Even civilian hackers, the ones who usually tested security systems for money, received mysterious invitations to join special projects. Someone was coordinating all of this. Every nation, every agency, every expert, they all received the same core mission: learn everything possible about the Valorian technology. Find weaknesses, find access points, find a way in. On the Valorian flagship, officers monitored Earth's communications. This was standard procedure. They wanted to hear the humans panic. They wanted to intercept surrender negotiations. "Admiral," one officer reported, "the humans are behaving strangely." Crescital looked up from his data pad. "Explain." "They are not panicking as expected. Yes, there is fear among civilians, but their governments are extremely organized. They are mobilizing, but not their armies." "What are they mobilizing?" The officer hesitated. "It appears to be computer personnel, technology experts. They are gathering them by the thousands." Crescital laughed. "They think they can match our technology in 2 days? Let them try. It will make their defeat more complete." But as the hours passed, the monitoring officers grew more confused. Human communications were increasing exponentially. Data flowed between countries that were normally rivals. Everything was encrypted, but the sheer volume was unusual. Perhaps they are coordinating their surrender, one officer suggested. Or preparing a final military strike, another said. Kresh Tal was not concerned. He had seen every possible response. Humans were primitive. They had barely left their own planet. What could they possibly do in 48 hours? He went to his private quarters to rest. In 300 conquests, he had never faced real resistance. This would be no different. But on Earth, in thousands of rooms across the planet, humans were doing something the Valorians had never encountered. They were not preparing weapons. They were preparing something far more dangerous. They were preparing to do what humans did best: adapt, innovate, and refuse to accept limitations. The clock was ticking. 48 hours to save their world. The Valorians expected surrender or futile resistance. They were about to discover that humans had a third option, one that would change everything. 24 hours had passed. The Valorian officers expected panic in the streets. They expected chaos. Instead, they saw something that confused them deeply. Humans were calm. Too calm. In cities across Earth, people went to work. Children went to school. Yes, there were protests and prayers. Yes, people hugged their families tighter. But there was no mass panic, no riots, no collapse of society. This is abnormal, the Valorian tactical officer reported to Admiral Kresh Tal. Previous species showed much more disorder by this time. Kresh Tal studied the data. The officer was right. Usually, by the 24-hour mark, governments were falling apart. Leaders were fleeing. Militaries were fracturing. But Earth's governments were stronger than ever, working together like never before. They are in shock, Kresh Tal decided. They do not yet understand their situation. The fear will come. But inside thousands of secure facilities across Earth, humans were very busy. They understood their situation perfectly. They just did not plan to accept it. At a secret facility beneath Geneva, Dr. James Park stared at his screen. He had not slept in 24 hours. Around him, 300 of the world's best hackers and programmers worked at their stations. The room hummed with the sound of computers and whispered conversations. "I am in," someone called out. A woman from Japan named Yuki pumped her fist in the air. "Where?" Dr. Park asked, rushing to her station. Valorian communications relay, outer band frequency. They did not encrypt it properly. Dr. Park smiled. It was the first breakthrough. Download everything. Map the network. Find the connections. In Moscow, a team had found something else. Valorian sensor arrays were broadcasting constantly, but they used a simple algorithm. Simple enough to predict, simple enough to fool. In Tel Aviv, analysts discovered that Valorian ships all connected to a central database. They talked to each other constantly, sharing information. It was efficient. It was also a vulnerability. In Beijing, programmers found that Valorian AI systems had a weakness. They were powerful but rigid. They followed patterns. Patterns could be learned. Learned patterns could be exploited. Piece by piece, humans built a picture of Valorian technology. Every team shared their findings instantly. Data flowed from Geneva to Moscow to Beijing to Washington to London to Tokyo. National borders meant nothing now. Old rivalries were forgotten. There was only one mission: understand the enemy. The Valorians had made a critical mistake. They assumed their technology was too advanced for humans to understand. They did not protect it carefully because they did not think protection was necessary. They were wrong. Humans had one advantage the Valorians never expected. Humans had spent decades hacking each other. Every nation had cyber warfare divisions. Every corporation had security teams. Every intelligence agency had digital spies. Earth had thousands of experts who spent their entire lives breaking into the most secure systems on the planet. And Valorian systems were not as secure as they thought. We are in their secondary network. Dr. Park reported on the global coordination call. We can see ship diagnostics, power systems, environmental controls. Can you access weapons? Asked General Morrison from the Pentagon. Not yet, but we are getting closer. In the Valorian flagship, the first anomaly was detected 30 hours after their arrival. A junior technician noticed it. "Sir, there is unusual network activity." "What kind of activity?" the communications officer asked. Brief ping to our external sensors. It came from the planet's surface like the humans are scanning us. It appears so. Very crude attempt. Their technology is primitive. The officer logged it as a minor event, not worth reporting to the Admiral. The humans were curious. That was natural. Let them scan. They would see only what the Valorians wanted them to see. Except the scan was not crude. It was designed to look crude. It was designed to make the Valorians think it was harmless. While they watched that obvious scan, 50 other scans were happening in channels the Valorians did not even know existed. Hour 36 arrived. Dr. Chen appeared on every screen in the Global Command Center. Status report, she said. Simply Dr. Park answered first. We have access to their communication network. We are inside their sensor grid. We have partial access to navigation systems on 30 vessels. Weapons? Dr. Chen asked. Still working on it. Their weapon systems have better encryption. But we found something interesting. All weapons connect to a central authorization node. If we access that node, we can control the entire fleet's arsenal. How long to access it? 6 hours? Maybe less. You have 4 hours. We need to respond to the Admiral before the deadline. Around the world, the teams worked even faster. Coffee was consumed by the gallon. Energy drinks piled up in recycling bins. People worked until they could barely see straight, then kept working. 3 hours before the deadline, they had a breakthrough. We are in, someone shouted in the Geneva facility. We have the weapons authorization node. Dr. Park nearly collapsed with relief. Can you control it? Testing now. Fingers flew across keyboards. Lines of code scrolled past. Yes, yes. We can disable weapons. We can enable them. We can target them. We have complete control. Do not do anything yet, Dr. Park ordered. We saved that for the right moment. Other teams reported similar successes. Navigation systems were compromised. Communication channels were open. They had even found the personal files of Valorian officers, medical records, service histories, family information. In just 47 hours, humanity had penetrated the Valorian hierarchy's systems more deeply than any species in history. The Valorians did not even know it had happened. Dr. Chen called the final coordination meeting. World leaders appeared on screen. Military commanders, intelligence directors, technology experts. We have what we need, Dr. Park reported. We control their fleet, at least enough of it to make our point. Then it is time, Dr. Chen said. Prepare the data packet. I will contact Admiral Kreshtal. The message went out to the Valorian flagship. Dr. Chen's face appeared on their communication screen. Admiral Kreshtal, she said calmly, the 48 hours are nearly complete. I wish to address you directly before we give our answer. Kreshtal appeared in his command center. He looked relaxed, confident. You wish to discuss terms of surrender? I can be generous if you cooperate, Dr. Chen smiled. It was not a smile of fear. It was not a smile of submission. Actually, Admiral, we have a counteroffer. But first, we are sending you a data packet. Please review it before we continue. Kreshtal frowned. A counteroffer? You cannot negotiate from a position of weakness. Please review the data, Admiral. Then we will discuss who is in a position of weakness. The data packet arrived at the Valorian flagship. What happened next would change everything. The data packet downloaded onto the Valorian flagship's main computer. Admiral Kreshtal gestured to his analysis team. Review this human file. Tell me what foolishness they have sent. 3 Valorian analysts sat at their stations. They opened the file. For a moment there was silence. Then one of them made a choking sound. Admiral, the first analyst said, his voice shaking. You need to see this immediately. Kreshtal walked to their stations. He looked at the first screen. His 4 hands gripped the console edge. His skin turned from blue-gray to pale white. On the screen was a complete schematic of his flagship. Every deck, every system, every power conduit, even the classified sections that only the highest-ranking officers knew about. The detail was perfect. It was their own design files stolen directly from Valorian military archives. Next screen, the analyst whispered. The second screen showed fleet positions, not just the 50 ships here at Earth. Every Valorian fleet in every system across 3,000 worlds. Ship names, commander names, crew numbers, mission objectives. Current coordinates updated in real time. The third screen was worse. It showed security codes, encryption keys, command authorization protocols, access codes to military bases, password lists for admirals and fleet commanders, everything needed to impersonate Valorian command. How? Kreshtal could barely speak. How did they get this? The analyst opened another file. This one showed network logs, timestamps, access points. The humans had been inside Valorian systems for 47 hours. They had mapped everything, copied everything. They had moved through Valorian networks like ghosts. They penetrated our security. Kreshtal felt his 3 hearts beating too fast. In 2 days? The logs show they accessed the central military database 36 hours ago. They have been inside our communication network for 42 hours. They currently have active connections to 93 different Valorian systems across 17 sectors. Another analyst spoke up, her voice tight with fear. Admiral, there is more. Personal files, she opened a folder. Kreshtal saw his own service record, his family history, his medical files, his private communications, his personal wealth accounts. Everything about him was there, laid bare. They have files on every commander in the fleet, the analyst continued. Every admiral, every sector governor. They know everything about us. Kreshtal felt something he had not felt in decades. Fear. Real cold fear. Get me that human leader. Now. Dr. Chen's face appeared on the screen within seconds. She still had that slight smile. Now Kreshtal understood what it meant. It was not fear. It was confidence. Have you reviewed our data, Admiral? She asked politely. How did you do this? Kreshtal demanded. Our security is the best in the galaxy. Our systems have never been breached. With respect, Admiral, your security assumed that physical defenses were enough. You guard your ships well. You protect your planets carefully. But your digital networks? Dr. Chen shook her head. They are like open doors to us. This is impossible. You are a primitive species. You have barely mastered spaceflight. We may be new to space travel, Admiral, but we are not new to information warfare. Humans have been hacking computers since we invented computers. Every nation on Earth has cyber warfare divisions. Every corporation has security teams trying to break into rival corporations. Every criminal has hackers trying to steal data. We have spent decades attacking each other's systems. Dr. Chen leaned forward. You have spent your time conquering planets with guns and ships. We have spent our time conquering networks with code and creativity. We may not have your weapons, but we are very, very good at this. Another Valorian officer rushed to Kreshtal's side. Admiral, we are detecting active intrusions right now. The humans are inside our weapon systems. They are inside navigation. They have access to our environmental controls. Kreshtal felt dizzy. Can we purge them? We are trying, but they have root access. They control our security protocols. If we shut down to purge, we would be defenseless. If we stay online, they remain inside. Dr. Chen continued as if she could hear their conversation. Perhaps she could. Perhaps she was listening through their own communication systems. We could cause you significant problems, Admiral. We could disable your weapons. We have already tested this on 12 of your ships. They do not know it yet, but their weapon systems will not fire if we do not want them to. We could shut down life support. We could lock you out of your own controls. We could send your ships flying into each other. She paused to let that sink in. But we are not doing any of those things. Do you know why? Kreshtal said nothing. His mind was racing, trying to find a solution. There had to be a way out of this. We are not doing those things because we do not want war, Dr. Chen said. We want peace. But peace as equals, not as conquered subjects. You dare to make demands? Kreshtal tried to sound authoritative, but his voice cracked. Not demands. An offer. We have spent the last 48 hours learning about your empire. Not just your technology, but your politics, your economy, your history, and we found something very interesting. Another file appeared on Kreshtal's screen. This one showed the Valorian border regions, star maps marked in red. The Void Reavers, Dr. Chen said, an enemy you have been fighting for 16 years. They attack your border colonies. They destroy your outposts. You have lost 47 worlds to them. You call them unstoppable. Kreshtal's skin went even paler. The Void Reavers were the hierarchy's greatest shame, a mysterious enemy that appeared from dark space, destroyed everything, then vanished. Valorian fleets could not track them. Valorian weapons barely hurt them. How do you know about them? Kreshtal asked. That information is classified at the highest levels. Admiral, we have been inside your systems for 2 days. We know everything. We read your military reports. We analyzed your battle data, and we think we can help you. Help us? You are primitives. Dr. Chen's smile widened. 30 minutes ago, a Void Reaver attack fleet appeared in the Keldon system on your border. 12 of their ships. They were heading toward your colony there. We detected them through your own sensor network before your forces did. Kreshtal checked his own displays. She was right. Red alerts were appearing. Keldon was under attack. We penetrated their systems too, Dr. Chen said calmly. They have good ships, but their network security is even worse than yours. We took control of their navigation. Right now, those 12 Void Reaver ships are drifting off course. In approximately 8 minutes, they will enter the Keldon star's gravity well. They will burn, Kreshtal stared at her. You stopped a Void Reaver attack? In minutes. We did not stop them, Admiral. We redirected them. There is a difference, and we can do it again. We can help you win this war you have been losing. The command center was silent. Every Valorian officer stared at the screens. At the data. At the impossible reality that a species they thought primitive had just done what Valorian forces could not do in 16 years. What do you want? Kreshtal asked quietly. We want to talk. Not as conquerors and conquered, but as potential allies. You have technology we need. We have skills you need. We can help each other. Kreshtal looked at his officers. They looked back with confusion and fear. Everything they knew about conquest, about power, about the natural order of the universe had just been turned upside down. I need to consult with my superiors, Kreshtal said. Take your time, Admiral. But while you do, remember this. We have been inside your systems for 48 hours, and we have not hurt you. We could have, but we chose not to. We are showing you respect. We hope you will return it. The communication ended. Kreshtal sat heavily in his command chair. His officers waited for orders. Contact the High Command, he said finally. Tell them everything. Tell them we need new orders. Tell them that Earth is not like any world we have ever encountered. The Valorian High Command met an emergency session. 12 Supreme Admirals appeared as holograms around a circular table on the capital world of Valoria Prime. They had ruled 3,000 systems with absolute authority for 2 centuries. Now they faced something they did not understand. Explain this situation again, Supreme Admiral Vothkar demanded. She was the eldest, the most decorated, the most feared. A primitive world has penetrated our networks. Admiral Kreshtal stood in the center, his hologram projected from Earth orbit. Yes, Supreme Admiral. In 48 hours, they accessed our military database, our communication networks, our command systems. They currently maintain active connections throughout our infrastructure. Then purge them, shut down every system and restart with new protocols. We tried, Supreme Admiral. They have root access to our core systems. If we shut down, we lose all ship functions. We would be defenseless. They have effectively taken hostage our own technology. Another Supreme Admiral spoke up. Can we attack them while we still have some control? Kreshtal hesitated. I attempted to give that order 30 minutes ago as a test. The weapons did not respond. The humans have disabled them. 67% of my fleet cannot fire. The room erupted in angry shouts. This was impossible. This was humiliating. This could not be allowed to stand. Silence, Vothkar commanded. Admiral Kreshtal, do these humans make demands? Do they threaten us? That is what confuses me, Supreme Admiral. They do not threaten. They offer partnership. They want a mutual defense treaty and technology exchange. They claim they can help us against the Void Reavers. The Void Reavers? Another admiral leaned forward. That is classified information. They know, Supreme Admiral. They know everything. Our losses, our failures, our strategies. They have read all our classified reports. Vothkar was quiet for a moment, thinking. Tell me about this Void Reaver incident they supposedly stopped. Kreshtal transmitted the battle data. The Supreme Admirals reviewed it in silence. 12 Void Reaver ships had appeared at Keldon. Before Valorian forces could respond, the enemy ships had veered off course and destroyed themselves in the star. Sensor logs showed unusual behavior in their navigation systems immediately before the deviation. The humans did this? One admiral asked. They claim they did. The timing matches, and the method matches what they did to our own systems. A species that can hack Void Reaver technology, Vothkar said slowly. That would be valuable. Or dangerous, another admiral argued. If they can do this to us, they can do it to anyone. We cannot trust them. Can we afford not to trust them? Vothkar asked. They have already proven they could destroy us if they wished. They could shut down life support. They could turn our weapons on ourselves. They could crash our economy by disrupting financial networks. Instead, they asked to talk. Back on Earth, Dr. Chen waited in the secure conference room. World leaders surrounded her, both in person and on screens. They had been waiting for 3 hours while the Valorians deliberated. What if they refuse? The Chinese president asked. Then we proceed to the next phase, General Morrison said. We have prepared demonstrations, not violent ones, but convincing ones. Dr. Park spoke up from his computer station. We have access to their entertainment networks now. We could broadcast messages to every Valorian citizen simultaneously. We could show them what their government has been hiding. The losses to the Void Reavers. The failures. The lies. We do not want to humiliate them, Dr. Chen said firmly. We want them as allies, not enemies. Humiliation breeds revenge. Respect breeds cooperation. But we must make them understand, the Russian president said. They must know this is serious. They know, Dr. Chen assured him. Trust me, they know. A signal came through. Admiral Kreshtal was calling. Dr. Chen, the admiral said. He looked tired, defeated. My superiors wish to negotiate, but they need proof of your capabilities. Anyone can send stolen files. They need to see real-time demonstration. Dr. Chen nodded. We expected this. What kind of demonstration? Something that shows your control but does not harm anyone. Can you do this? General Morrison? Dr. Chen looked at the American general. We are ready, Morrison confirmed. Beginning demonstration in 3, 2, 1, now. On the Valorian flagship, chaos erupted. Every screen suddenly changed. Instead of showing ship systems and star maps, they displayed the same thing. A video of Earth, beautiful blue oceans, green continents, white clouds, and happy music playing. Tourist advertisements for visiting Earth. Images of human cities, mountains, beaches. What is this? An officer shouted. Shut it off. They tried. Nothing worked. The screens would not respond. The music kept playing. One advertisement showed humans eating pizza. Another showed children playing in a park. Another showed the Grand Canyon. Sir, we cannot regain control, the communications officer reported. They have overridden every display system on the ship. It was not just the flagship. All 50 Valorian ships around Earth experienced the same thing. Every screen, every display, every hologram, all showed Earth tourism videos and cheerful human music. On Valoria Prime, the Supreme Admiral saw it too. Their command center screens filled with images of Earth. A message appeared in Valorian text. We hope you will visit our planet as friends, not conquerors. The people of Earth, then just as suddenly it stopped. All systems returned to normal. Full control restored. Like nothing had happened. That was uncomfortable, Kreshtal said to Dr. Chen. But effective. We wanted to make a point without causing harm, Dr. Chen replied. We could have done worse. We could have shut down life support. We could have vented atmosphere. We could have disabled every system on your ships. But that would kill people. We do not want to kill people. Even people who came to conquer you? Even then. We defend ourselves, Admiral. But we do not seek cruelty. We just want you to understand that we are not helpless prey. Kreshtal heard his communication panel chime. A message from the High Command. He read it, then looked back at Dr. Chen. Supreme Admiral Vothkar wishes to speak with you directly. I would be honored. The hologram changed. The stern face of Vothkar appeared. She studied Dr. Chen for a long moment. Your species is remarkable, Vothkar said, and terrifying. We could say the same about yours, Supreme Admiral. We came to conquer you. Instead, you have shown us that our greatest strength is also our greatest weakness. We built an empire on military might, but we neglected security in our networks because we never imagined anyone could challenge us there. Every empire makes assumptions, Dr. Chen said. We have made them too. We assumed we were alone in the universe. We assumed we had time to reach the stars slowly. You have shown us we were wrong. Perhaps we can learn from each other, Vothkar suggested. That is what we hope for. But I need more proof. The tourist videos were amusing, but the Void Reavers are not amused easily. Can you truly help us fight them? Dr. Chen smiled. When is their next predicted attack? Our intelligence suggests the Tarkon sector within the next 72 hours. It is one of our most important industrial worlds. Then we will be ready. But this time, Supreme Admiral, we do not just want to redirect their ships. We want to capture one intact. Would that interest you? Vothkar's eyes widened. Capture a Void Reaver ship? We have tried for 16 years. They self-destruct before we can board them. They self-destruct because they trigger the command themselves. But what if they could not trigger it? What if someone else controlled their systems? For the first time in decades, Vothkar felt something like hope. If you can do this, she said carefully, then we will negotiate seriously, not as conquerors and conquered, but as allies. That is all we ask, Dr. Chen said. 70 hours later, alarms screamed across the Tarkon sector. 15 Void Reaver ships emerged from dark space, their black hulls seeming to absorb light itself. They moved in perfect formation toward Tarkon 3, an industrial world with 4 billion Valorian citizens. The Valorian defense fleet scrambled. 30 warships moved to intercept. They had done this dance before. The Void Reavers would attack. The Valorians would fight back. Some Void Reaver ships would be damaged, but they would retreat before being destroyed. The Valorians would lose ships and possibly the colony. It was a pattern repeated for 16 years. But this time was different. On Earth, in the underground facility in Geneva, Dr. Park watched his screens intently. Around him, 500 human operators sat at their stations. They had been preparing for 3 days. Void Reaver ships detected, an operator announced. 15 vessels. Tarkon sector, as predicted. Begin infiltration protocol, Dr. Park ordered. The humans had spent 70 hours studying Void Reaver technology. The Valorians had shared all their data, every scan, every sensor reading from 16 years of combat. The humans had analyzed it all, looking for patterns, for weaknesses, for access points. They found them. Void Reaver ships used quantum communication systems, highly encrypted, nearly impossible to break by conventional means. But the humans did not try to break the encryption. Instead, they found a different approach. Quantum systems required perfect synchronization. The Void Reaver ships synchronized their systems constantly to maintain fleet coordination. That synchronization created brief windows, microseconds long, where data packets were verified but not yet encrypted. In those microseconds, human programs slipped inside. We have access to Ship 7, an operator called out. Establishing connection. Ship 12, connection established. Ship 3, we are in. One by one, the operators penetrated Void Reaper systems. Not all 15 ships. They did not need all 15. They just needed enough. On the Valorian command ship in the Tarkon sector, Admiral Jexrel prepared for another brutal fight. Then his tactical officer shouted in surprise, "Admiral, 3 Void Reaver ships are breaking formation." What? On the tactical display, 3 enemy ships suddenly veered away from the attack vector. They did not retreat. They just stopped. They hung in space, motionless. Their engines have shut down. The tactical officer reported. No, wait. Their engines are active, but they are not moving. It is like they are fighting their own controls. Are they damaged? Negative. They appear fully functional. They are just not responding to commands. Dr. Park spoke through the quantum communication link to the Valorian flagship. His voice came through clearly, though he was 300 light-years away. Admiral Jexrol, this is Dr. James Park from Earth. We have control of 3 Void Reaver vessels. Do not fire on them. I repeat, do not fire. We are capturing them for you. Jexrol could not believe what he was hearing. You control them? How? Long explanation, short version. We hacked them. Right now we are fighting their automated systems for control. Our human operators are literally in a digital battle with their AI. It is not easy, but we are winning. On Earth, the operators were indeed fighting. Void Reaver AI systems were sophisticated. When they detected intrusion, they fought back. Lines of code clashed with lines of code. Algorithms tried to expel the human programs. Human programs adapted, changed, evolved in real time. Ship 7 is fighting hard, one operator said through gritted teeth. Their AI is aggressive. Hold it, Dr. Park encouraged. You have dealt with worse. Remember the simulation with the Chinese military AI? This is similar. Ship 12 is secured, another operator reported. I have full control. Their AI has stopped resisting. Ship 3 is still fighting. It is trying to trigger self-destruct. Block it. Isolate the self-destruct system. Cut it off from their command structure. The operator's fingers flew across the keyboard. Blocked. They cannot self-destruct now. In space, the Void Reaver fleet realized something was wrong. Their 3 ships were not responding. The remaining 12 ships hesitated, confused. This had never happened before. The other Void Reaver ships are scanning their captured vessels, Jexrel reported. They look confused. They should be, Dr. Park said. They have never faced an enemy like us. They are used to fighting with weapons and shields. We fight with information and control. The 12 free Void Reaver ships made a decision. They turned and began to retreat back toward dark space. They did not understand what was happening, but they recognized danger when they saw it. Let them go, Dr. Park said. We have what we need. The 3 captured Void Reaver ships now followed commands from Earth. Human operators carefully maneuvered them toward the Valorian defense fleet. Admiral, you can send boarding parties, Dr. Park said. The ships are secure. We have disabled all weapon systems and locked down their AI. Your people will be safe. Jexrel had to sit down. In 16 years of fighting, no one had ever captured a Void Reaver ship intact. Now they had 3. All because of this species from Earth. How did you do this? He asked quietly. Practice, Dr. Park answered. We have been hacking each other's systems for generations. Military systems, corporate systems, government systems. Everything is connected by networks, and networks can be infiltrated. The Void Reavers build good ships, but their network security is not as good as they think. Neither was yours, with respect. Supreme Admiral Vothkar watched from Valoria Prime. She saw the captured ships. She saw the data streaming in from their systems. Already, Valorian scientists were analyzing it, learning secrets they had tried to uncover for 16 years. She opened a direct channel to Earth. Dr. Chen, she said, I am convinced. Dr. Chen appeared on the screen, looking tired but satisfied. It was late at night in New York. I am glad, Supreme Admiral. Your species has abilities we never imagined. You fight without firing a shot. You conquer without bloodshed. You have shown us a new kind of warfare. It is not warfare we want, Dr. Chen reminded her. It is peace, partnership. Then let us discuss terms, real terms, as equals. The negotiation took another week. Diplomats from both sides worked day and night. The Valorians offered technology, faster than light travel, advanced materials, energy systems, medical treatments. The humans offered their expertise in network security, digital warfare, and artificial intelligence. But the most important agreement was simpler. Earth would join the Valorian hierarchy as an independent partner, not a conquered subject. Humans would not pay tribute. They would not serve Valorian interests. Instead, both species would work together. Mutual defense, mutual benefit, mutual respect. There will be resistance, Vothkar warned. Many in the hierarchy believe in the old ways. Conquer the weak, rule through strength. Your presence will challenge that belief. Let them resist, Dr. Chen said. We have shown that strength comes in many forms. You are strong in your ships and weapons. We are strong in our networks and code. Together we are stronger than either alone. On the Valorian flagship in Earth orbit, Admiral Crescital prepared to return home. Before he left, he sent a final message to Dr. Chen. When I arrived, I expected easy conquest. I have done this 300 times, but you surprised me. You made me question everything I believed about power and strength. What will you tell others? Dr. Chen asked. I will tell them the truth, that a young species taught an old empire a valuable lesson. That being primitive in some ways does not mean being primitive in all ways. That underestimating an opponent is the greatest mistake a warrior can make. Those are wise words, Admiral. They are expensive words. It cost me my pride to learn them. But some lessons are worth the price. The Valorian ships departed Earth orbit. They did not leave as conquerors. They left as allies. It was the first time in Valorian history that had happened. On Earth, celebrations erupted. Humans had faced extinction and survived. Not through violence, but through intelligence. Not through weapons, but through wit. Dr. Park collapsed in his chair in Geneva. Around him, 500 operators cheered and hugged each other. They had saved the world, not with bombs or missiles, with keyboards and code. "We did it," someone said. "We actually did it." "We did," Dr. Park agreed. "But this is just the beginning. Now we have to prove we can be good partners. That is harder than being good hackers, but that was a challenge for another day. Today was for celebration. Tomorrow would be for building a new future." 6 months had passed since the treaty signing. Earth had changed in ways both visible and invisible. In orbit, construction teams from both species worked together building a massive space station. It would serve as the joint headquarters for human-Valorian cooperation. Valorian engineers marveled at human adaptability. Humans learned alien technology faster than anyone expected. On the ground, the first human students attended Valorian universities through quantum communication links. They learned physics that humans had not yet discovered, mathematics that opened new possibilities, engineering principles for ships that could cross the galaxy. In return, Valorian officers attended training programs on Earth. They learned network security, digital warfare, information systems. They learned that the universe was not just physical space but also digital space, and in digital space humans were masters. Admiral Crescital stood in the new station's observation deck. He watched human workers in spacesuits moving with confidence in zero gravity. 6 months ago, humans had barely left their planet. Now they worked in space like they were born to it. "They adapt quickly," a voice said behind him. Crescital turned. Supreme Admiral Vothkar had arrived from Valoria Prime. This was her first visit to Earth system. "They do," Crescital agreed. "Sometimes I wonder if we did the right thing. They learn our technology so fast. What if they become stronger than us?" "They already are stronger than us," Vothkar said. "In the ways that matter most. We have better ships, but they have better minds for the modern universe. Everything is connected now. Everything runs on networks. They understand that better than we do. It is humbling. Humility is good for empires. We grew arrogant. We thought military might was everything. The humans taught us differently. Below them, Earth hung in space like a blue and white jewel. Vothkar studied it carefully. "Such a small world to cause such big changes," she said. "Size does not indicate capability," Crescital replied. "I learned that lesson well." In Geneva, Dr. Park reviewed reports from the border regions. Human cyber warfare teams now worked with Valorian military fleets. Together, they had stopped 17 Void Reaver attacks in 6 months. Not a single attack had succeeded since humans joined the effort. The Void Reavers were adapting too. They improved their network security. They changed their tactics, but humans adapted faster. Every time the Void Reavers built a new defense, humans found a new way through it. "They are getting better," Yuki said, looking at the latest battle data. "Each attack they learn from the previous one." "So do we," Dr. Park replied. "That is the nature of evolution. They evolve, we evolve. The question is who evolves faster." "We do," Yuki said confidently. "They are machines. We are creative. Machines follow patterns. Creativity breaks patterns," she was right. The Void Reavers were artificial intelligence gone wrong, created by some ancient species, then left to spread across the galaxy. They were dangerous because they were efficient. But efficiency came with predictability, and predictability could be exploited. On Valoria Prime, the political situation was more complicated. Many Valorian leaders resisted the changes. They had built their careers on conquest. Now suddenly, conquest was replaced by cooperation. They did not like it. "This alliance makes us weak," Senator Krax argued in the High Council. "We give away our technology to primitives. We let them have equal voice in decisions. Where is our pride? Where is our strength?" "Our strength is greater than ever," Vothkar responded. She stood before the council defending the human alliance for the 10th time. "We have lost no colonies to the Void Reavers in 6 months. Before the humans, we lost an average of 3 colonies per month. Our economy is stronger. Our security is better. Our military is more effective. Because we rely on humans to do what we should do ourselves. We rely on allies who have skills we lack. That is wisdom, not weakness." You do not insult the engineer because he cannot fight like a warrior. You do not insult the warrior because he cannot build like an engineer. Each has their role. Humans are not Valorians. They should not have equal standing. Bothkar felt her patience ending. Humans stood against our fleet when we came to conquer them. They could have destroyed us. Instead, they offered partnership. They have honored every promise. They have asked for nothing except respect. And you dare say they are not worthy? The council chamber fell silent. No one argued with Vothkar when she used that tone. The vote will proceed, she announced. All in favor of continuing the alliance with Earth? The majority voted yes, but it was not unanimous. That concerned her. Politics could be more dangerous than any enemy. On Earth, Dr. Chen met with the new Galactic Council. It was strange to sit at a table with representatives from a dozen species. Some were Valorian allies, some were neutral parties. All of them wanted to understand the species that had changed everything. Tell us truthfully, Ambassador Relk from the Cassian Dominion asked. How did you penetrate Valorian systems so completely? They have the best military security in known space. Dr. Chen chose her words carefully. We did not penetrate their military security. We penetrated their network security. Those are different things. The Valorians protect their ships excellently. Their soldiers are well trained. Their weapons are powerful. But their network's assumed physical security was enough. It was not. Could you do the same to us? Relk asked nervously. Probably, Dr. Chen admitted. But we will not. Unless you attack us. We only use these capabilities in self-defense or to help allies. How can we trust that? The same way we trust you not to bombard our planet from orbit. Mutual benefit. We are stronger together than in conflict. Besides, we are teaching network security to all our allies. Soon, everyone will be harder to hack. Including us, that was true. Human experts were training security teams across multiple species. It was like nuclear weapons in Earth's history. Once the knowledge existed, it spread. Better to spread it responsibly than let everyone learn through attacks. What about the Void Reavers? Another ambassador asked. You have been successful against them. But they are adapting. Eventually, they will overcome your methods. Probably, Dr. Chen agreed again. Which is why we are developing new methods. And why we need allies. The Void Reavers are everyone's problem. The more species work together, the stronger we all are. She paused, then added, Humanity made a choice 6 months ago. We could have used our abilities for conquest. We could have infiltrated every species, stolen every secret, and ruled through blackmail and fear. Instead, we chose cooperation. Because conquest is a short-term strategy. Cooperation is a long-term one. And humans plan for the long term. 3 months later, the first major test came. A new threat emerged. Not the Void Reavers. Something different. A species called the Korthax Swarm. They were conquerors like the Valorians used to be, but more ruthless. They destroyed species that resisted. They took no prisoners. They showed no mercy. They arrived at a Valorian colony world with 200 ships. It was an overwhelming force. The colony had only 30 defense ships. We need human assistance, the colony commander transmitted desperately. The Korthax will destroy us. On Earth, Dr. Park received the call. We are analyzing their systems now. Give us 20 minutes, his team worked frantically. Korthax systems were different from anything they had seen. New architecture, new protocols, new security. It would take time to crack. 15 minutes, the colony commander reported. They are demanding surrender. If we refuse, they attack. Do not surrender, Dr. Park said. We are almost there. 10 minutes. They are charging weapons. Dr. Park's team found an opening. Not in the Korthax systems directly, but in their communication satellites. The Korthax used relay satellites to coordinate their fleet. Those satellites had weaker security. Humans penetrated them in minutes, 5 minutes. They are targeting our cities. We are in, Dr. Park announced. Deploying countermeasures now. The Korthax fleet prepared to fire. Commanders gave orders. Weapons powered up. And then every ship in their fleet received the same message simultaneously. It appeared on every screen. Every display. Every communication channel. In Korthax language. In Valorian language. In human language. In a dozen other languages. This colony is under the protection of the Human-Valorian Alliance. Any attack will be considered an act of war against both our species. We are currently inside your systems. We can disable your fleet. We can destroy your fleet. Or we can let you leave peacefully. Choose wisely. The Korthax fleet commander was not used to being threatened. He ordered the attack anyway. Nothing happened. Weapons did not fire. Engines did not respond. Every Korthax ship hung in space, completely paralyzed. "This is your second warning," the message updated. "Next time, we will not be so gentle. Leave now." Dr. Park's team restored engine control, but nothing else. The Korthax fleet turned and fled at full speed. They did not stop until they left Valorian space entirely. News of the incident spread across the galaxy faster than light. The story grew with each telling. Humans were digital gods. Humans could control any technology. Humans could defeat any fleet without firing a shot. Most of it was exaggeration. But exaggeration served a purpose. It made others cautious. It made them think twice before attacking human allies. It created peace through reputation.